Good.
Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I just want to take a minute to thank everyone for joining us today and hopefully over the next 3 days as well, as we welcome you to this year's World Technology Universities Congress, or WTUC 2020. For those of us who've joined us in the past, you can see that we're in a slightly different format this year. However, we're really excited to have you all with us today. Professor Peter Scharff, who is the chair of WTUN, will give you an introduction shortly, but I just wanted to start by saying that the whole of the event will be taking place on Microsoft Teams. You can find the entire program and all links through the WTUN website. And if you have any questions during the event, please use the Q&A function at the side, or if they're about WTUN in general, please email us at wtun@bradford.ac.uk. So I would like to start now by passing you over to the chair of the network, Professor Peter Scharff, and once again, thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Sonia, and welcome to everyone everywhere in the world. For those of you who do not yet know me, I should like to give a very, very short introduction of myself. I'm Peter Scharff, and I served for 16 years now as the rector at TU Ilmenau in Germany. This is a small university with about 6,000–7,000 students, and we were one of the WTUN founding members. I don't know exactly if everyone is so familiar with WTUN. Some of the delegates may not have been yet involved in the activities, and so it might be a good idea to give some background of what is WTUN network. WTUN was founded in 2017 with some visions. The visions are, first of all, to be a global network of technology universities. And the goal is to undertake cutting-edge research with direct benefits to people and society. In other words, to combat the 21st century's issues of today. It is combined with to promote better understanding of the role and the characteristics of technology universities across the world. I think very important is our motto, knowledge is everywhere. That means we are on one level and we are trying to share the worldwide knowledge in order to build a better world. WTUN does this, first of all, through collaboration at all levels of an institution. by promoting mobility and global citizenship opportunities, by joint research and knowledge transfer to address global challenges, and facilitating links between technology universities, industry, NGOs, SMEs, and sharing best practice for capacity building amongst members. Currently, we have 22 members from 19 countries all over the world. Of course, we have a general board with which I'm chair of, with Professor Abdullah Al-Hawaii as my deputy chair, and an operational board chaired by Joanne Dobson, and you will be hearing from both of these over the next couple of days. The WTUN activities include funding professional academic staff and students exchanges to allow capacity building for joint teaching, joint research, or sharing best practice in various areas, and student competition, allowing undergraduate and postgraduate to share new and innovative ideas about how to improve society on various levels, giving them the opportunity to compete for various prizes. The work streams in the following areas: innovation and entrepreneurship, where we are looking at increasing global citizenship education across our students and delivering entrepreneurial support events. Gender equality among students in STM subjects, as well as senior leadership within our members, and we have written and signed our own gender equality pledge that commits us to weaving these beliefs into all our activities. The United Nations Sustainable Goals were, as a network, we are signatory at the UN SDG Accord, and for the past 2 years we have included our priority goals: clean water and sanitation, sustainable cities and communities, and good health and well-being into several of our activities. This year we have also run a successful COVID-19 webinar series, which gave our members to share best practice, how they had handled online teaching and learning, research, the mental health of staff and students during this pandemic. And of course, our annual Congress. The annual Congress, I think, is a very good opportunity for our members, non-members, and other external organizations and interested parties to meet to discuss WTUN activities and progress, as well as current issues and trends in higher education, and what we can do as an internal network to get involved and help. Not internal, but international network to get involved and help. In the past, we have had 4 congresses in 3 countries: UK, it was in Bradford, India, Madras, and in Taiwan. Over these events, we have over 250 delegates attend and over 130 speakers in over 50 sessions. Although this year we were supposed to be heading to Germany, COVID-19 has affected WTUC just as it has affected everybody's lives in so many different ways. I would like to take a moment to send my well wishes to your families, your friends, your colleagues, staff and students at your institution. Stay insane. However, as a network that wishes to combat 21st century issues, we could not let this pandemic stop us from meeting this year to discuss the landscape of higher education. I actually feel this gives us a great advantage, as so many more of you who would not usually attend WTUC have been able to join us this year. So thank you so much for coming. I'm very excited that we have 3 brilliant themes for you this year. First, today, science, industry, and research. Then on science, industry, and research, internationalization, higher education institutes, and working together. On Wednesday, this will be led by Professor Abdullah Al-Hawaii, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, social responsibility, and our impact on the world. This is Thursday, led by Joanne Dobson, internationalization, higher education institutes and working together is by Abdullah Al-Hawaii. We have lots of different sessions this year, which will be interest to senior members of staff, those who work in international roles in accreditation teams, and of course academics and early career researchers and students. We have a diverse program where we hope we will all find interesting topics and discussions to get involved in. You will also have the chance to hear from some of our exchange recipients and our students, competition winners, about their projects and see the different types of WTUN activities you and your staff and students can get involved in. We would also request that as many of you as possible stay for development and networking sessions where we will inviting ideas from all about what WTUN should focus on over the coming year and what we can do as a network to help you in your various roles. Make sure to go to the WTUN website to see all the sessions and get involved with the program over the next 3 days. Before I talk about science, industry and research, I also want to take a moment to say a very big thank to the founding chair of WTUN, Professor Brian Cantor, who stood down from his position in July. Brian was the brains and idea behind WTUN, and during his term as Vice-Chancellor at Bradford, he hosted the first 2 congresses and set up the network with 18 founder members. We are very thankful to Brian for this initial vision and all the hard work that he put into make the network what it is today, and we would like to honor this work by launching the Brian Cantor Scholarship Prize. This will be an annual financial prize awarded to PhD students and early career researchers who are working on projects that tie into the vision and mission of WTUN. We look forward to releasing more information about the prize after the Congress. I would also like to take a moment to thank Professor Shirley Congdon and the University of Bradford, who have hosted WTUN since its inception and have recently agreed to continue hosting our network for the next few years. We feel this will provide the perfect foundation for WTUN to continue to grow in size and activity over the next few years, and I think it is a precondition for having a certain stability. So thank you very, very much, University of Bradford, for being our host the next years. Let's talk about our motto or theme for today. The title is the connection between science, industry and research and technology universities. I mean, it is a natural connection. It is a natural connection between science, industry and research as concerns the framework of technology universities. I think to be profitable for a society, we have to take into consideration not only to produce knowledge. Of course, university are, let's say, the original sense of university is to perform basic and fundamental science and research, and then be a storage of knowledge. This is very important also today, but this cannot be the end point of our activities. We have to focus on the activities also to transfer our knowledge from our institutions into industry, into society, because this is the method for helping society to be in a better condition, especially under the conditions we have now, and to improve situation in all over the world. I think this is not only connected to COVID-19 now. I think this is some thing which is a very hard situation for many of us just now. And I think in Europe we are in a comparatively good situation. I know from other countries, Southern America or also Russia and India especially, where the situation is much worse. And we have to try to help our colleagues and students also in these countries. But also is very important is that we should be aware that we have a task as the academic society of the world to keep peace. In many aspects, the situation has not become better the last, let's say, 5-10 years. On the contrary, and the academic society of the world should stay together, and especially in hard times, and especially with countries which are, let's say, in a not favorable situation now. We should try to keep contact. We should try to keep contact to our colleagues there, and continue to work together, even in a situation where the politicians say, no, this is more or less enemy, and we should better stop our activities, and there might be very evil things going on in their countries. This might be, but I think the society of scientists all over the world has the task to continue collaboration, to stay in contact and help these people who are not responsible for their situation in such countries. Yeah, I think also this is a main task of our network, and we should be aware that we have the task to perform this continuation of activities even there. Okay, I think I have to keep the time. And this is the perfect moment to say that's it. I wish this Congress a very well performance. I'm very excited what will happen the next hours and the next days. I will be there anytime. And yes, and I can give the word now to our first speaker. Yeah, it's correct. Professor Mansoor, it is pronounced Ahlia, yeah?
Aali.
Aali from Ahlia University. That's it. Okay, and we are very keen to listen to your talk. Please start with creating opportunities for collaboration and success stories with industry. Professor Mansoor Aali. Yeah.
Can you see my slides?
I cannot see slides now, but I hope.
You still cannot see. Again, we're going through the same thing.
Professor, can you just share your slides the same way we did before?
Is it coming now? Still?
Not just yet.
Now? No?
No, we can see you on camera, but we can't see your slides yet, I'm afraid.
Let me see now again, try again. We did it a minute ago, but I don't know what happened. We'll practice one more. How's that?
Yes, we can see that. Thank you.
Is it working now?
Yes.
All right. Can I start?
Yes, please.
Yes. Good afternoon from Bahrain, and good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I am really happy to speak again at WTUC, and maybe just a matter of correction. Professor Peter kept saying the name of his vice president as Al-Hawai. It's with a J, Al-Hawaj. So just to get that correct. Really, we are very happy and that we are amongst the founding members of WTUN, and very happy to participate in the WTUC. I'll just give you a 1-minute brief about Bahrain. Bahrain has really 14 private universities and 2 public universities. The universities are more or less governed by a higher education council and the Bahrain Quality Assurance agencies. Like every other country with Corona, thank God we are in control and the numbers are really controlled. Bahrain really economy runs around a number of things. Industry, we have the largest aluminum smelter in the world, a number of industries associated with it. We have some oil, bank services, and a bit of tourism. So I welcome you to Bahrain, although virtually. My talk today is really will express our experience, will present to you our experience at Ahlia of how a university in our side of the world sort of struggles to deal with industry and how we formulated our approach over the years in dealing with industries. Here on our side of the world, industry is not really very familiar with the universities and how they can cooperate. And this is really an uphill struggle, a challenge to get universities and industry to work together. I'll present Ahlia as an example, and you will see what we had to do to accommodate this, and we are still building in that or on that direction. What we found is that a university must have two key factors to keep in mind to be able to deal with industry, to provide research consultancy, to get some research funding. First of all, a university must get its internal management structure in shape, fine-tuned, and must define and assign responsibilities to specific people, who they are, people in management, deans, etc., depending on the structure. The second thing we have found out, there is a lot of effort that must go into marketing the university. We must market our published research. We must market our faculty. Students' projects and dissertations, we must make them known to industry and try to get industry to be on the same or in the same direction with us. So we present that, we market ourselves in that direction. Again, in order to sort of succeed, we realize we must understand what the industry needs are. What are the needs in the industry? What are the priorities of the industry? And we must get to know people in the industry. And this has not been an easy task, trying to achieve this. You know, universities always look at themselves as, you know, the scientific body, you know, the place where there is information and knowledge. This is great, but industry doesn't appreciate this much. This information and knowledge must lead to benefit, must lead to use and application. So this must be presented to industry, the private and the public sectors. And we found it's always wise to focus on your own country first, your own needs locally. Again, you know, faculty tend to research and publish research and scopus based, and you know there is a competition and citations, etc. This is good, but it may not really be the best thing for industry. So research that's being funded by university, the direction of research, we always push for research that can be commercialized, that has a real practical solution, that's something that industry locally or internationally can actually benefit from. So to deal with this process, I have identified a number of things. I call them the S's for success. So everything starts with the letter S. So first of all, our advice is to start small. Don't be too ambitious. You will fail. Second thing is, before you venture out to deal with industry, benchmark yourself with other universities who have tried and failed or have tried and succeeded. Your effort will not succeed if you don't set aside a certain budget for that project. And you must have the right policies in place. Set your policies. Seek help from consultants, from different associations, different bodies. Seek help. And also you must build your own research strategy that actually serves industry. And for that, you need to do 4 things. Put the plans in place, set your plans, train your faculty, set staff training, and get your stakeholders, all your stakeholders engaged in the process. You cannot do it on your own. And we also realize that in giving incentives, a faculty is not going to be interested if there are no incentives for them, whether it's financial incentives or when they deal with industry, it'll be counted towards their promotion. This is all sort of required. And this is what we've learned from experience. For your plans, 2 or 3 things must be considered. Defining the responsibilities, who's going to do what, who's going to approach what. And we've also realized individual cooperation between a single faculty and industry normally fails. You must work into groups, and forums must be set as a discussion place for this purpose. Some more key factors or key guidelines, I will go through them quickly because time is running out. I've only got 10 minutes. Quick points to consider: develop faculty interest and involvement. You must be seen as an incubator for innovation as a university. That's how you'll gain the respect. Promote that aspect. You must create opportunities for your faculty and your students. Don't waste your time on non-talented people. Work on talented people, utilize them, faculty and students. Your teaching and learning must focus on two major things for you to succeed in this direction: critical thinking and creativity, and problem-based learning. This is where you get your postgraduate and final year students to be part of your projects with industry. Industry will not deal with you if they think you cannot keep a secret, or you're not responsible for copyright issues and who owns the results and the output. You have to generate the interest in your capabilities internally and externally. Again, build reciprocal partnerships. Partnerships will not work if they are only one-sided, only for you. It has to be a win-win situation for you and the industry. You must know your key strengths and weaknesses. If you have a weakness, work on it. If you have a strength, utilize it. This is how it will work. This is how the formula will function. Every institution has obstacles, whether it's in the organizational structures, it's in individuals. You must eliminate these, identify them and eliminate them. Otherwise, you will not progress. My last point is, it is also advisable to have advisory boards who are community-based. Get advisory boards from the community to help you along on your way. My last slide, so I can finish within 10 minutes. I'll tell you what we do. Ahlia University publishes a book every year. We call it Industrial Research Collaboration. This book is distributed to all stakeholders of the university, to industry. It is marketed. What's inside this book is all the research of our faculty, their research interests, the key fields, how they can approach us, contacts, etc. And why we do this? Of course, what we do here is in line with Bahrain 2030 vision. We benefit from our alumni who are located in different types of industries, and we keep a very good relationship with our employers. We survey them, we do a lot of discussion groups, etc. with them. Within Ahlia, our organizational structure works like this. We have these 4 entities dedicated to this process. We have the Professional Relations Directorate, which deals with industry, getting to know their needs, field trips, etc. The Public Relations is our interface, which markets Ahlia, presents to industry and the public and the private sector what Ahlia does in the newspapers, through correspondence, etc. And we have a focused unit called Business Relations. This actually identifies research, puts faculty in touch with the relevant industries, takes postgraduate students, try to get dissertations funded from industry. The Deanship of Graduate Studies and Research is the umbrella which sets policies for research, etc. Of course, on the right-hand side, you will see community engagement is a major thing. Community research, community engagement is an arm. It's the 3rd most important arm of university, so universities must pay attention to that. I'm happy to tell you that in the UN SDGs, we scored quite highly. Pay attention to this. We have a specialized equal opportunities committee which deals with the Bahrain Supreme Council for Women. And this also creates extension for research for gender issues and women issues. And to close down, my 10 minutes is finished. I want to say that the WTUN, the World Technology University Network, is yet another international platform which we have really utilized, and we are utilizing already. There are 2 or 3 projects in action, some exchange program, and this is another dimension of Ahlia and our direction. I wish you all the best of luck. My 10 minutes is over, and I am really happy to present at WTUC, and I wish you all success in this conference. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Peter, can you just remember to unmute yourself?
So thank you very much, Professor Mansoor. This was very interesting to me. You might know that the Technical University in Ilmenau has nearly 50% of its complete income from industrial collaboration. Yeah, so this is a very important point also for us. We will discuss this, I think, after the third speaker has ended up. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I should like to open the floor for Dr. Chitra Rajagopal, Director General, Ministry of Defense, Government of India. And I heard that we will have a video from her. Yeah, please. I cannot hear now. No.
Sorry, sorry everybody, we're just having a slight technical issue, as you can imagine happens often with these things. If you just bear with us, we will start the video again.
Greetings to all.
Good.
World Technology Conference. Thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts for the keynote session on science, industry, and research. Having spent more than 3.5 decades in research, a major part of it in defense R&D, I thought it appropriate to share my thoughts on how research institutions, and in particular, defense R&D, has played a key role in linking science and industry. It is also apt that I start with the vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who led defense R&D for many years before becoming President of India. He was the key proponent of technology innovation and the importance of collaboration between the three entities, academia, research, and industry, for the development of a nation. He said technology innovation is the key to a nation's growth. For building innovative capacity, we require the partnership of a cluster consisting of public and private sector industry, R&D, and academia. And if we need to power the ecosystem of a nation, we need economic development, which is powered by competitiveness, which is in turn is powered by knowledge, and that by technology and innovation. And the initial starting point is resource investment and partnership between R&D, academia, and industry. If we look at how innovation has come out in the last few years, there's been a paradigm shift. If you look at the emergence of the new scientific superpowers, if you look at 20th century, science was a pyramid with the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Russia, and Japan at the apex. Science in the 21st century will be more like a network with multiple linked centers of excellence. The United States, Britain, and other current leaders will still be important centers of research and innovation, but will be joined by India and probably China. And a host of small countries, including South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, and Brazil, will also develop world-class capabilities in strategic specialties or interdisciplinary areas. Now let's look at the R&D process. Initially, there's a generation of ideas, which then goes on to feed basic research, and then applied research finally leads on to development, innovation, and then scaling up. So each of these, the expertise lies with one domain, that is academia for basic research, development is taken up by research institutions, and the scaling up is by industry. We can also take a look at the technology readiness level. which gives an indication of where we are with respect to a technology. This is the ideation stage, followed by basic research. And then 2 is technology formulation, and then 3 refers to the validation, then a small scale prototype, large scale prototype, prototype selection, system, demonstration, first of a kind commercial system, and finally at 9 we are at full commercial application. So if you know where you stand, you can rank the technology readiness level of your technology. Vast majority of our research community acknowledges the inevitable necessity of the collaboration between the 3 entities of academia, research and industry. But most of us consider that we are still very far away from excelling in this collaboration. From an academic perspective, it can be more interesting when things are not working than when they are. However, in industry, we don't find that interesting, only frustrating. Thus, says an industrial manager reflecting on university collaboration. So if we look at the research and development institutions, they play a key role in bridging the gap between academia and industry. If we look at this, the ideation stage, the R&D stage, and then the technology seeds which go into the incubation stage, and finally commercialization. So this is where all 3 players need to make their mark. Let me now come to defense innovators. There are various issues concerned with them. If you look at this graph, you'll see there are 2 valleys of deaths for such innovators. One is the early stage valley of death, and the next is the commercial stage. And in each of these stages, they need facilitation and enabling so that they can come out of this. Like they say, the best ideas in the world often fail in the marketplace because it is so difficult for small entities to reach a sufficiently large set of potential adopters. Now look at the benefits of university research industry cooperation. Basic research is essential, but it's not enough. The ideas have to be effectively transferred to the private sector, which can then become innovations. And early stage funds, which are difficult to obtain, become barriers to defense. We have to set up Technology Development Fund as a grants in aid which supports MSMEs, startups, and fills the gap between research development between the 3 entities. Now, if we look at the DRDO dashboard of industry, academia, and industry interaction, we have directed research centers, research boards in various domain areas, extramural research, contract for acquisition of research services. These all cater to various academia and research institutes. The Technology Development Fund, on the other hand, looks at both industry as well as startups, imprint, and Uchitar Avishkar Yojana. So these are all the kind of schemes where DRDO is involved. In addition, the technology requirements for national defense and security also form key inputs. Then we identify the technology gaps, look at the thrust areas, niche areas, and the requirements for technology development. And then we come out with technology development with the industries, and the products are developed. If we look specifically at our academic interactions, we have a Center for Propulsion Technology, and we have with various others entities also, academic entities. We have centers of excellence set up in various areas. COPT looks at propulsion. JCB CAT looks at unmanned robotics, directed energy, etc. Whereas ACRAHEM in University of Hyderabad looks at quantum chemistry, synthesis of high energy molecules. Similarly, IIT Delhi looks at ballistics, electromagnetic devices, smart and intelligent textiles. And the Bharatiya University DRDO collaboration looks at biochemical and gas sensors, bioremediation, electrospinning, computational math tools, etc. And now we are coming up with some new centers, Central University at Mizoram and Jammu University. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Technology Development Fund. It was established to promote self-reliance in defense technology as a part of the Make India initiative. And it helps in enabling and building an ecosystem for enhancing cutting-edge technology for defense manufacturing. It provides small business community with access to R&D funds and technical handholding to develop military technologies to institutions in the public and private sectors. The development and transformation of such systems is an important way to promote innovation. thus improving the competitiveness of industries and services through domestic ecosystem. Now let's look at something called the triple helix model for industry, academia, R&D, and government linkages. I have modified it a bit. I have added academia and research. And here we have competent researchers, research-based training, scholarly works, problem solving. Industry looks at R&D, funds, industrial productivity, efficiency, data-driven innovation. And the government has to support it with policies for both teaching, research, and innovation, and policies to support industry competitiveness. The challenges for the industry are there are rapid changes in technology and market conditions, which call for higher innovation rates and shorter lead times for product and process development. And the strategies to accelerate innovation processes are outsourcing of R&D activities, strategic partnerships, creation of technology incubators, and establishment of science parks. Here again, DRDO has taken a lead, and we have created technology incubators. And in addition, the Government of India has set up 68 such centers under the Atal Innovation Mission. The expected outcomes are that these higher education institutions will transform themselves into entrepreneurial universities. Their capability to transfer technology to industrial enterprises will increase, and partial functional superposition of universities, research institutions, and industry in a process of research and innovation, which is supported by the government's enabling environment. Now I would like to give you a case study of how India is using a triple helix approach to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Here we have an excellent example of collaborative research and innovation using this approach. We had a high-level COVID task force, which was co-chaired by the Principal Scientific Advisor to the government and a member from Niti Aayog. Our secretary was a member also of this task force. There was a consortium of innovative COVID technologies coming from the national research laboratories, government agencies, and academic institutions for augmenting the inventory of critical healthcare products vis-a-vis the estimated requirement. And this happened by fructifying industry partnerships. DRDO, ISRO, CSIR, IITs, IISc, ISRO, and many other academic and research institutions have developed prototypes which are mature enough for testing and making it available to the industry to start manufacturing. So we have a great network of research labs and technology institutions, about 150 incubators with over 3,225 affiliated startups. And these startups have a central position in the Indian fight against the virus. There was a COVID-19 solution challenge which was launched by the government for startups to support scale-up of promising solutions. They offered them seed grants and scale capital to these. And large corporations such as Mahindra, Tata Group, and state-owned Bharat Electronics also reconfigured their plants to make products such as ventilators. Now, I would also like to give you a brief on how DRDO has been very agile in the battle against COVID. We took a very proactive approach by tracking the alarming spread of COVID, and we've been on the alert since the first case was reported in India, and DRDO laboratories are working on spin-off technologies geared to combat COVID-19. We worked with innovators both within DRDO and outside, and these were quickly converted into products and spin-offs of existing technologies. And we focused on creating solutions without losing time, given constraints and available resources. So we are now ready with technologies, and we are now working with industry. We have activated 200 industries to produce required equipment and products. We are providing information about the products developed and innovative interventions. And we are now handholding these industries to ramp up the production, and we are also enabling them to develop components and subcomponents for the primary industries. So these products and services are also being provided to the city administrators on request. So these are the kind of technologies which DRDO has been able to develop and give to the industries and therefore to the public in less than a month. We started with LCA oxygen gas generators to medical oxygen plant. What we had as NBC suits became PPEs. The technologies for NBC masks went on to make N99 masks. And from biodefense research, we went on to sanitizer production. From firefighting and desert storm protection to area sanitization, vehicle research to vehicle sanitization, biomedical research to ventilators, 3D printing to face shields, physiological research systems to UV sanitization, AI research to medical use robots, mathematical and epidemiological analysis to COVID-19 prediction, and from shelter for the armed forces to medical shelters. I will just very quickly show you the slides which give the kind of products which are being developed. I will not go into the details of each of these. You can just see them. So you can see that if you look at the summary, we had what was initially being produced per year, we ramped up so that the industry ramped it up so that it now became per week the same level of production. PPE orders, COVID tests conducted, how many ventilators were developed, how many sanitizer units supplied. 18 of our labs were working on COVID-19. 7 software products were released, 100 industry partners, and 6 critical import components were indigenized, 649 PPE coverall testing, and 130 contactless automatic sanitizer units. We also set up a hospital within a very short time frame of 12 days, incorporating many unique innovative techniques. And it had many challenges, but we were able to accomplish what we wanted to do. So I would just like to conclude by saying how important it is to fill the gap between science, industry, and research. It involves hand-holding of industry partners, encouraging applied research in industry, tailoring syllabus in academia to aid skilled workforce, and of course, the government policy initiatives like Make in India, TDF, IDEX, etc. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Dr. Rajagopal for this very interesting talk. I was especially impressed by this model of triple helix for the collaboration industry, academia, and government. We will talk about this and discuss this later. Let's now come to the third talk in this session. It will be given by Professor Dr. Ahmad Fauzi Ismail. He's the acting Vice-Chancellor at the University of Technology, Malaysia. Please.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share with all of you in the World Technological University Congress 2020. The title of my presentation today is about driving the industry via innovation. I'm Fauzi. I'm the acting Vice-Chancellor of UTM. Now, this is the research capacity in our university. We have 5 research alliance. All the academic staff in UTM must belong to one of the research alliance. And we have 4 institution, higher institution of Center of Excellence or the Center of Excellence at international level. We have 6 research institute, and we have about 1,609 academicians and 6 Center of Excellence, more than 160 research groups. UTM at a glance in terms of niche area. As I mentioned just now, we have 5 niche areas, which consists of frontier material, resource sustainability, innovative engineering, health and wellness, and smart digital community. And some of the highlights of all the products under each niche area can be seen underneath of the slide. This is a fact and figure in our university. So far, we received more than 270 million worth of research and teaching equipment, which include 50 million high-end equipment, 4 high institutions Center of Excellence, 50 million average grant secured per year, span from 2010 until 2018, and 1.5 million online journal title subscribed with 480k printed books, and we have more than 1,600 researchers with 30% young academician, and 83 UTM sign. UTM sign is a group of academic staff below 40 that we, by design, grooming them to become our successor in the near future. And more than 7,000 research-based postgraduate, which 70% of them are a PhD graduate, and 73% academician are principal investigator. We have 205 patent granted, 36,000 plus index publication, and 14.5 million income generated from our commercialization of our R&D products, and more than 100 high impact community project. Now, this is our new R&D CI blueprint that has been approved by our Senate. So we have 4 pillars, 5 strategic objectives, 24 focuses, 5 theme, 11 characteristics, 9 signature program, and others. All in all, the pillar for all of these are the scholarly research excellence for societal well-being. We do not do research because we like that research, but we do research at the end beneficial to the people. So at my right hand side, there's a high quality impact publication. This is a pillar. Increase income generation, high return engagement and partnership, the IPs, commercial products and services, and so forth. And we also have AIM 4-Star Consortium, which will be representing a university whenever we want to meet up with the industry. And all of our R&D in a university must address the SDG. And in Malaysia, we have 10 on 10, which is 10 technology drivers versus 10 socio-economic drivers. The 10 technology drivers is easier. Every university, we have that. But the big problem is how we're going to transform these technology drivers to benefit the 10 socio-economic drivers. That is the main problem. And we're going to address that until 2025. So this is the AIM 4-Star that I mentioned just now. We would like to push the boundary of research to solve the common problem using quadruple helix model, and efforts in consolidating expert, synergizing the units and coordinated marketing is very important to represent us as a university. Now, this is, we have a UTM Technology Park. The park offers conducive environment for incubation and startup, and to encourage commercialization of our R&D and to expedite the advancement process of a new business. We have 6 spin-off reside inside this park, and monthly communities income, which is 376k. We have 8 premises in Malaysian Technology Development Corporation, MTDC, and 41% tenant occupancy at the moment, and more than 100 UTM student internship per year in this park. We have so many other things, as you can see in the slide, and we have partnership with a big company, either a government linked company or a private company. We have Innovation and Commercialization Center, ICC. We formed ICC in 1981, and now we generated 3.8 million prototype development fund we gathered, we received, and 360k tech implementation fund, and 300k product commercialization fund, and 700 entrepreneurs trained in a structured module, and more than 30 entrepreneurs involved in training and module development. So UTM was the coordinator for Erasmus Aspire, that is strategic IP management for effective R&I in Asia higher education. So this program also parked under this Technovation Park. This is our commercialization ecosystem. Mind you, without this ecosystem, it is quite difficult for a product from lab to be commercialized. So what we do, we have a community that is a user on the market. We have the government, which are always supporting us. And in university, we have R&D units. I'm pretty sure all of us have had that. Faculties and TTO, Technology Commercialization, Technology Transfer Office. We have Innovation, Entrepreneurship Unit, and Community Engagement Unit. All in all, we'll support the subsidiary company, spin-off, other companies and startup. So sustainable, we have a sustainable ecosystem which include policy, efficient IP management, holistic HCD entrepreneurship incubation, smooth tech transfer, interesting marketing and incentivization, and strong commercializing funding. So at the moment, UTM have had 52 spin-off, 375 patent granted, 1,200 plus patent pending. We have more than 5,000 copyright and more than 200 other IPR. Now, this is a helicopter view of our tech park. So inside here, we recently have 4 projects that just came in, we provided them proper ecosystem location as per their requirement. Now, these are some of the highlights. This product already reside in that tech park, which is including smart sensory room. We have also membrane water filtering system. We also have COVID-19 initiative, and our bioproduct and cosmeceuticals also very popular here in Malaysia, which is made in UTM. So this is the way forward for our tech park. We have Center of Additive and Advanced Manufacturing Technology, which inside we have 42 researchers, more than 120 PhD students, graduate, and 55 master's program now. And these are some of the collaborators that we have had so far. So we would like to propose this way forward to the government to have this center established, and UTM is going to become the coordinator. Next, our way forward is we would like to have a national technology and innovation sandbox. And these are some of the products. 4 of our UTM product has been submitted for the consideration by the Ministry of Science and Technology Innovation. So if this is successful, then we might hit our target. And another wish list is we would like to treat our Technology Park as the catalyst for the IR 4.0. Our effort is, at the moment, we have a robotic research consortium, which will repitch to the Ministry of Higher Education in 2018. 2 of our Center of Excellence recognized as the National Force IR Competence Center. And we also developed Johor Innovation Valley. Johor is a state where we are, launched in 2016, also in this tech park. And we would like, in the near future, this tech park to be further extended. Now it's a bit scattered, but in the near future, we would like to, for them all to be stationed in the tech park. So our vision is UTM Tech Park towards Silicon Valley-like ecosystem involving the Gucci consortium. Our wish list, and we do hope that in the near future, this can be materialized, and by 2025, we have another 5 years to go, our tech park will be serving our state, Johor, where UTM are, and to our country, where UTM going to be going to have an important aspect to play around as one of the catalysts for technological advancement in Malaysia and abroad. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ismail, for really impressing, let's say, landscape of technology transfer in your university to industry. Now we are stepping on to the discussion part of our meeting now. I heard there is already one question to Professor Mansoor. I will give the word to Sonia. Let me first address another thing. I mean, there is always let's call it a field of tension between, let's say, basic research and the question of if we perform applied research together with industry, are we, let's say, some sort of prolonged workbench for industry? I think this is always in the background of our researchers also, and we should, let's say, include in our discussion also this question, because this is always a bit debated. Yeah, how far can we go to be a client from industry, prolong the workbench, or should we stick to more or less basic research? But I want to give the word now to Sonia. She has a question to Professor Mansoor. Okay, please.
Thank you, Professor. So just a very quick answer, if possible, from Professor Mansoor, but we will have opportunity to continue these discussions in our parallel sessions, and also please do join us for the development session at the end of the day, where all of our delegates will be free to discuss anything that they have thought from today's theme. So the question, Professor Mansoor, comes from Professor Richard Williams at Heriot-Watt University. So thank you for watching. And it says, thanks to our speakers, can I ask our friends in Bahrain, India and Malaysia, how do you measure industry satisfaction with your graduates' capabilities and also with your research outcomes? Do you have a quantitative measure?
Yes, thank you for the question. With regards to measuring the satisfaction of the industry about our graduates, this is a routine thing we do. we have a specialized unit called alumni unit, which sends out annual surveys to all our alumni, and we have a specialized survey to our employers to measure their satisfaction with our alumni. Even the internship students who do internships at industry, we actually conduct surveys. All these surveys, yes, they are quantitative, they get analyzed, and actually the feedback from all these surveys is analyzed in a specialized unit called CME, the Center for Measurement and Evaluation, and is fed back to all the different academic departments to benefit from. So it helps us in dealing with industry, it helps us in fixing our graduate attributes. Believe it or not, it helps us even in defining our teaching and learning techniques and our curriculum. So that actually is what we do in terms of the our graduates and the industry. What was the second part of the question?
It was about research outcomes and whether you have any quantitative methods. Yeah,
you see, industry in Bahrain in general is, or in the Gulf region, is new. It's not like in Europe, 200 years old, and there is a well-established relationship between universities and industry. And you know, industry is the culture in industry. They are aware of the capabilities and the potential and the knowledge and the research in university. Here we trying to convince industry that yes, we have the expertise, we have the knowledge, and we have the experts. So building that culture is difficult for us, and we are building on it. We are trying to create something new. We are trying to create a new culture, trying to indoctrinate or educate the people in industry. They're used to go and get a consultant from somewhere, you know, international, and put them to action. We are penetrating slowly. We are, you know, succeeding in some projects here and there. And I think the culture with more younger people moving to industry, you know, they are becoming more aware of the potential of universities. Sometimes also it's from within. People in universities tend to think, you know, they are the Mr. Know-it-all and they have all the solutions to the universe, and they don't realize also that, you know, their weaknesses. So it's a partnership. Do we quantify our research? Yes, we have certain objectives set in our research. Community research to us is one of the core values. You know, we push and we fund research which deals with, for example, you know, obesity, gender issues. We've done research for the Supreme Council for Women, which deals a lot with women and gender issues. And we've succeeded with a number of manufacturing or industrial units to serve. And so yes, we do quantify, and we are on the right track. We are on the right track. I think every year is better than the year before. As I think that's what I want to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think in order to keep the time, we should, let's say, allow maximum one additional question. Then we have to step on to the break. Is there any additional question?
I don't think we've had any additional questions through at the moment. So I think it's probably best actually to just leave it here. And if we say everybody to please join our parallel sessions next, all the links are on our website. And if anybody does think of any more questions, we can discuss them in our development session, which is in a couple of hours. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you in our next session shortly.
So you want us to be in the development section later, yes?
Yes, please, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the moment, and we will meet again in the next opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you.